What's up, guys? It is John Muscarello from Side Hustle Experiment. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I know a lot of people have subscribed recently. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Just kidding. I am a six-figure Amazon seller. I sell on eBay as well. I sell mostly books and used media. And in today's video, I am going to talk about the challenge I issued myself. I said that if I did not buy $500 worth of inventory, online arbitrage inventory, I would give one of my YouTube subscribers $500. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I did hit the goal. I did it in 2 days, and I did do recordings both of those days, kind of after the first day how I felt and how I thought it went, and then after the second day how I felt and how I thought it went. I am going to put those at the end of this video. You don't have to watch those, but I think you will find it very interesting, kind of how I felt the first day, and then what happened on the second day. So in this video, I really want to break down exactly how it went, and kind of this is exactly what reselling is like. Whether you're new to reselling or about to get into reselling, I kind of want to give you some perspective about some things I learned trying to find things to buy, doing online arbitrage. So let's get into it. So when I was doing it the first day, when I issued this challenge, I actually thought it would be probably easier to achieve than it actually was. Granted, I kind of knew a little bit about online arbitrage and using tactical arbitrage, but that tactical arbitrage, let me take a step back, is a software that you could run that goes to like Walmart, Targets, Kohl's, and they basically compare prices in certain categories against Amazon, and if they are selling something for a lower price than Amazon and you can make money on it, they will put a result, and then you have to do some research. But you know, it was very, very frustrating. And that's how reselling is going to be when you first start. I'm not going to sugarcoat it like everyone else. You don't really hear a lot of this content on other people's channels. But when you first start, it's going to suck. Like, you're not going to know what to buy. It's going to be confusing. There's all these new softwares. There is a ton of things you need to learn. How to read a keep a chart, how to send things to Amazon, what makes a good Amazon buy, what fees is Amazon taking out. Luckily, I know a lot of this, and it was still challenging for me on the first day to find profitable products. And I actually found 0 profitable products the first day, and it was really, I have to say, it was very I don't know if humbling is the right word, but maybe embarrassing. I don't know. It was like, how could you not find something? Like, but it happens. Like, I used to go to thrift stores and scan books and not find anything, and that's kind of how it goes. So that's number one. When you start reselling, you know, it's going to be hard. Everything you start for the first time is going to be hard. And I forgot that, right? I have a nice warehouse. I have a good book business. I sell on eBay as well. And that stuff is going well, but you know what? I know how to do that stuff really well because I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years. Now this is a totally new ball game. Like, I know books and media and stuff. So that's number one. Number two is perspective. You have to keep perspective. So how this worked for me is I was running all these scans using the software and you know, saying, okay, I want to search Walmart toys, Target toys, food on Walmart, all this different stuff. And I was going through and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, you are scanning through all these products and you're looking for, I don't know, maybe 10%, probably lower than that, is going to be a good fit. Like, I feel like sometimes online arbitrage is portrayed as you run tactical arbitrage and like, it's like money is being printed. Like, everything in those search results are good to go. that you could buy, and that is not the case. Like, you're going to come up with things where the picture doesn't match. Or you finally find something, you're like, oh my god, like this bottle of water is $1 at Target and it's selling for $10 on Amazon, and you realize on Amazon this is like a 10-pack and Target is selling just one. So there's a lot of stuff like that that makes it frustrating and hard. So when I put it into perspective, I was just like, you know what? You do the same thing with books, right? I scan thousands and thousands and thousands. I think we scanned 22,000 books this month so far, and probably only 10% of those will end up going to Amazon or being merchant fulfilled. So it's the same thing. It's the same math, but it's just being done differently. You're doing it on a computer. You're looking at software to analyze whether you want to buy something or not. It's the same with books. It's literally the same thing as books, but it's just different. And that's when it clicked for me that, you know what, like, you just started this, you know, that's how it goes. Like, if every product at Target sold for more on Amazon, like, we'd all be doing this and we'd all be making tons of money. But it is what it is, and that's just kind of one thing that I wanted to share with you, that you just have to put in perspective. For me, you know, it was, hey, you do this with books, so it's the same thing with online arbitrage. Like, you just don't understand it yet, or just starting it, so it's very hard for you to be like, oh, this stinks or whatever. But no, it's like you just have to learn. Number 3, and I'm going to do, I think, 2 more, and then the last one is the biggest, I think, the best part about this, and probably what you're going to get the most out of. So the third thing was ask for help. I am very fortunate that, you know, through reselling for about 3 or 4 years, I have made a lot of friends. Just having an Instagram account, going to conferences, and most importantly, sharing my story. On Instagram, I posted, it was so hard to post, but I wanted to kind of give you guys an inside look at me transitioning to OA, where it was, hey, I just spent 2.5 hours looking for products and didn't find anything. Like, I can't believe this. Like, someone might win $500. And you know what happened? Like, it was so embarrassing to say that, and like, cause it's like, oh, like, this, I don't know, like, what it is, but like, I don't know, like, who wants to say that? They did something for 2.5 hours and like, came away with nothing. But what that led to was 2 or 3 people DMing me, saying, hey man, like, try these searches. Oh, are you doing this? Here, change your settings. And then one person even got on the phone with me and kind of like gave me what they do, some searches to run, and then was just like, hey, before like we even like go on, like, what are you doing? And I kind of explained what I was doing, and it turned out that like I had like too strict of filters. I was searching kind of categories that didn't really make sense, and so in the end, it was super, super helpful. Even though I kind of didn't ask for help, but you get the point. Like, I was able to take it. Some people reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, like, I would love to talk to you. Like, help me out here. Number 4 is, you know, hang out with people who push you. The whole reason I started this challenge was because I was sick of saying, like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I was on Taylor Jones' official. He had a YouTube live. He invited me to go. I met him in Miami, and he was just like, you should go. And I said at the conference a week ago when I first met him, I was like, oh, I'm going to start doing OA, blah, blah, blah. So I get on the live, and the first question he asked, like, did you buy anything yet? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, for OA. I was like, oh, no, not yet. He's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you waiting for? And like, it just like clicked. I was like, what are you waiting for? Like, it was embarrassing. He's like, you know, like, I went to this conference, got all hyped up. I got home, and like, we do what we usually do, right? You talk to someone, like, oh, I'm going to start reselling, and then like, life happens. And like, I came back, like, my book business, I was a little behind because I was away, and I started doing that and didn't do any OA. So that is one of the biggest things. Hang out with people who are going to push you, hold you accountable. And that was going to lead to number 5. And that was issuing this challenge. So this challenge really, really solidified in my mind that having consequences is super, super important. I think like a lot of times we think, oh, we're going to make profit. Oh, that's the good thing. But like when there are consequences on the line, things are much different. So when I was searching for that 2.5 hours and found nothing, usually I'd be like, you know what, this online arbitrage, these people are like such scammers. Like they're like, yeah, like you could just find a little bit. There's not like that much out there. Like I'm just gonna stick to books and do eBay. And then next morning I'd be like, oh man, like you really need to do OA. Like you got to give it a chance. And then I would just get busy and so on and so forth. But knowing that if I did not buy anything, I'd have to give one of you guys $500. I mean, I love you guys. I'm so happy you watch these videos. I hope you find them helpful. But on the one hand, I was just like, wow, like, no, like I got to do this. Like, how am I going to find $500? It was no longer like, oh, I have to learn OA. Oh, I should start doing OA. I was like, no, how are you finding $500 of product by next Sunday? And so it also goes down to goal setting, like having a goal, holding yourself accountable. And what I found out that was really the driving factor, and it's not that $500 is not a lot of money to me, because it is a lot of money, right? Because like I could buy a load of Gaylords almost for a little more than that and turn that into $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So it is, but for me, it was more embarrassment. Like, man, like you said you were gonna do this, and you didn't do it. Like, what's up with that? Like, you know, all these people are gonna think you're a clown. Like you, and it'd be one thing if I searched and searched like 8 hours a day and like or 10 hours a day and came up with nothing. Yeah, sure. I mean, the effort was there, but how could after 2.5 hours I just be like, oh yeah, this isn't for me. This doesn't work. This is hard. And so having that challenge or something that like a consequence, like, man, this video, I am going to have to say, hey guys, what's up? I failed the challenge I issued myself. One of you guys getting $500. Like, I did not want to do that. So I think like if you're like trying to get started with reselling or trying to make a pivot, you know, you try to hold yourself accountable in some way that will, you know, really make you take action, whether that's money, doing something embarrassing, I don't know, a bet with a friend, I don't know, whatever would work for you that you think if you didn't do something, you would not want to do, you know, that thing. So that was probably the biggest takeaway from this whole thing, was almost having a goal or setting this challenge, and instead of being like, oh, I have to start learning online arbitrage, I have to start searching more. It was all of a sudden that turned to, how am I going to find $500 worth of stuff to buy by Sunday? That was the new mindset. So that is kind of what happened. That is the recap of what happened, how I met the challenge. I am very happy I did. I spent, I think, a total of around $1,700 over, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was probably, I don't know, I think the average buy cost was like $30 per item. So it was more higher end stuff. Oh, and that's one last thing. I was searching for all these other, you know, topics and categories that I didn't understand. And then I started to search for things I understood, like books and media. And when I was doing those searches, it was very easy for me because, like, I'm used to looking at keep it charts for this stuff. I know, like, how the market, I know the ranks. So I started doing that, and that's when I really started to find things. So maybe start with something you know would be a great way to get into this, and then eventually morph into other categories, other topics once you get your hands dirty and starting to get some product in. And yeah, that's kind of the video, guys. I just kind of wanted to give you a little insight into that, how I was kind of thinking about the challenge, um, how I went, and also it's just kind of how it goes. Like it really reminded me, like when I first started reselling, how it went. It was hard. But I pushed through it, and now, you know, um, you know, have a warehouse. I'm doing pretty good, and now I'm starting like a new chapter. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I will link to the challenge that I issued myself if you guys want to watch that video. And then on the tail end of this is going to be day one, what I thought about online arbitrage and the start, and then the day two. Again, you don't have to watch that, but I think it will provide you some insight. I mean, nothing for nothing, but the business I run now is it goes well, it goes smooth. I could use some more help, but it is very, very frustrating when you already are doing something that's successful, and then you're like, oh, it's going to be so easy to do this other thing, and it's not, and it's a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I got it done. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe tell me how you started. Were you frustrated? Are you frustrated? Do you have questions? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear what you have to say, and I'll see you guys in the next video. What's up, guys? It's John from Side Hustle Experiment. I issued myself a challenge to source $500 worth of OA within a week to get moving. I always say I'm going to do it. I don't. And today is basically day one. Today is Saturday. So basically, I started to source. I ran some searches last night. Probably around 10 o'clock, got here in the morning, shipped some merch fulfilled orders, and shipped out some eBay stuff. And then I started searching, probably around 8:30 or so, went till about 10:30, so almost 2 hours. And I didn't find anything. I didn't find a single item. It was kind of very frustrating and disappointing. And to be honest, I have all these books you see behind me need to be looked up for eBay. I know there's hundreds and probably even thousands of dollars sitting on that table right now. And I was like, oh man, I just want to go down there and start doing eBay. Forget about this OA. I don't know what you're doing. But having the challenge is really helping me get through this right now. I was just because that's what I'd usually do. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to give someone $500. And I think it's for me more almost embarrassment that, you know what, you said you were gonna do this, you didn't do it, you couldn't find $500 worth of product. That's what I would be thinking when I'm watching the video. What the hell, dude? You had 7 days, you couldn't find $500 worth of stuff. So I honestly thought I'd sit down today, find the $500, be on my way, and be like, oh, OA is amazing. But I didn't do it, and I'm totally new at this, so I mean that's part of it. I don't really know what I'm doing. But luckily I posted on Instagram. I was like, oh man, haven't found anything, because I'm trying to document this journey, because I have a feeling some other people are in the same position where they have started using TA or trying to do OA, and it just has been very frustrating because you haven't found anything. And then someone actually I met at a conference, I'm not going to shout out his name or Instagram because I don't want you guys blowing him up, asking him for help. He actually offered to hop on the phone with me, and it was super helpful. Not only did he tell me what he does and how he runs his searches, but he also asked me. So I was like, okay, that's great. He's like, whoa, before you go, what are you doing? How'd you set it up? And I was explaining what I was doing, and he's like, oh, yeah, you want to be more broad. You want to run these types of searches. Don't worry about that. Be more broad. then like you filter down. And it was just really eye-opening because I was taught another way. And when I say taught, someone basically showed me like kind of how they set up their filters, and I was just doing that, like thinking that was the way to do it. But I know this person's very successful doing OA. He does it himself. He has a virtual assistant who's now doing it for him or helping do more. So I'm going to try it his way. I set it up. I basically started totally over. I stopped all my searches. I just started doing basic searches instead of advanced searches, based on what he told me. And I was just texting with him. He said to wait about 12 hours to let all the search results come through. So I'm probably going to do that and, probably get after it tomorrow morning and definitely find that $500. But yeah, it's really been like my inkling was, when he was telling me what to do, I was like, but I should probably filter this out and that out. But like, that's the point. Like, no, like do what he's saying. Like he knows what he's doing. Like just because I think, I should be doing this or that differently, like I couldn't even find one product. So like, why would I take what he said and then like try to do something else? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like follow directions. That's what I'm going to do. See where it goes. And then like, I'm hoping to find a bunch of stuff tomorrow to buy. And but that was kind of the first day. I might do a little stuff tonight, maybe a little sneak peek at the searches. But it wasn't, about 3 hours today. And then like, I didn't find anything. And then I was kind of like, maybe I'll like start going to sites and looking at clearance and seeing on Amazon. I did that for about an hour, what they call reverse searching. And then I was like, you know what? Like, you just gotta focus. Like, don't do both. Figure out TA. It's going to be good for you. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. Kind of wanted to document this because it's like, it's kind of embarrassing. I didn't find anything. I was kind of like, should I even do this like anymore? Should I just like, after 2 hours, should I just like totally change what I'm doing because it's not working? That's another big part of this, like not working after 2 hours. That's ridiculous, right? It's like going to a thrift store and scanning 20 books and be like, this doesn't work. No, you got to scan hundreds and thousands of books. So got to keep that in mind. I'm totally new at this. And I just kind of want to document it. I will probably put this in the YouTube video when I go over how the challenge went. And it will just kind of be a little documentation of day by day. And I'll see you in the next one. What's up, guys? I just finished day 2 of the 500 OA challenge that I gave myself. And I did it. I did hit 500. I actually spent about 600. Took me about, probably it was about 3 or 4 hours the first day, and then maybe 4-ish hours the second day. So it was very challenging, to be honest with you. And I know for a fact that if I didn't put the $500 on the line, I probably would have been like, screw this. I have other stuff to do. I have other ways to make money. But having the challenge out there really, really, really made me push and get through it. So I was really struggling. I was going through, part of the thing is, I think I was going through things that I'm not familiar with. So I was going through food and grocery, what else? Like video games, and a lot of beauty, and a lot of the stuff had like different variations and just some stuff I'm not familiar with. So I feel like I was like, this is it. Like this is one. And then it'd be like a 2-pack, or it would be the variation didn't sell. So it was super frustrating. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I'm going to look for some stuff that like I know really well. So I started doing some tactical arbitrage searches around like books and media. And that's where I found my success.
Obviously, I'm very familiar with media and books. I didn't really find any books. I did find one, but Amazon was out of stock on it. And I felt like by the time I got it, they'd be back in stock on it. So I kind of passed on that. But I did find some media, which was good. I think I got it. The first thing I bought was from Walmart, and then I bought 4 other things from Target. I bought 5 of each. So yeah, the total for the Walmart was like 100, and the total for Target was like 500 something dollars. So that's 600. I will be doing a recap video on all of this, probably tomorrow or the next day. And I'll include like these little tidbits or insights, kind of how I felt. And yeah, that was kind of it. Like I said, again, it was very challenging for me. I thought this would be a lot easier. Obviously, I did it in 2 days. It didn't take me the whole 5. And I think part of that also was, I have a really, really busy week coming up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be crazy. I'm not working Friday, Saturday. It's my best friend's wedding. So I just wanted to get this stuff out of the way as quick as possible. And hopefully what I bought, I did it correctly. I will report on that once I get the stuff and it sells. But yeah, guys, it seems like if you could put your mind up to something and you kind of put your back against the wall, you can make it happen. But again, I'll make a whole recap video on this. I just kind of want to capture this, my day 2 experience with everything. And shout out to everyone who helped me in the Instagram DMs to help me achieve this.